Have to do that. That's the real deal. But, okay, getting back to my partner. I used to go to summer school. So I like school, I like learning. While I'm at summer school, you're meeting people. I always go back to your meeting people. You're sitting up in class, and you seeing these people, you don't know them because summer school was at one school and everybody from the other schools came over to that school. So you met people from other schools that way. All you gotta do is just be there. You know, you're gonna meet somebody. We in class, and we just going through class, doing class shit, you know, meeting people, talking, football, all kind of just junk, you know, just talking about the neighborhood, where you're from, getting to meet the school. Oh yeah, we came over there and dog job, you know, so you got that going on. The two guys in the back would always be talking about, one talking about cars, and the other one talking about karate. And so they would be talking, and I kind of sit close to them, right? So, you know, so I started just listening to them talk, and, you know, and then so I turned around to them and started looking at them and, you know, gave them the indication that, okay, I'm interested in what y'all talking about. So we talking, and they talking, and so then I said, well, hold up, man. Let me ask you something. What is wrong with your knuckles? And he was, you know, showed me his knuckles. Well, I guess there were calluses on his knuckles. And I'm saying, okay, you fighting or something? Or how you punch, what you do? He said, well, I punch shit and I do knuckle push-ups on the seat. Now, we got these wooden seats at school, you know, wooden desks and wooden seats. And he in the chair doing knuckle push-ups. And come to find out he knew karate and judo and all that good shit. Okay. So, my other partner that was sitting over there, we talking, and he, you know, so after we talked about that, and then a few days, soon later, after I got the names and everything, then I started talking to this guy. And for some reason, the stuff he was talking about was kind of stuff that interested me a little bit, you know? But, and then cable had came in then, so you got exposed to a whole lot of stuff with the cable. It was some nice times back then in the 70s and 80s, I'm gonna tell you. And so, he started talking about racing and all these cars he had and how he raced for pink slips and all that stuff, you know, which back then I wouldn't know what that is, but I know now. And so I was like, well, where you live at? I live in Washington Park. I'm like, you live over here? Well, why are you going over there? We just started, you know, talking, hanging out. And so he started coming by my house and picking me up. I ain't got no car. But he just always come, yo, man, Tim, what you doing? And both our name was Tim. He said, Tim, what you doing? I'm like, nothing, what you doing? Nothing. He said, I'll be over there. And so he'll just come by and we'll just get in the car and just ride around talking. Yes, sir. Loved it. We're riding around talking. And he telling me about this and telling me about this and telling me about his life and what's going on, you know, and what he done and all kind of. I'm like, God damn, at a young age, you done some shit already. Not you just done been in the neighborhood and you just done got in this fight, chasing this girl, and he was telling me about what's exciting, right? So, I said, man, I can see now we're going to be good goddamn friends. Yes, sir. I can see that now, you know. And so we would be riding in the car, and he playing this rock music. Now, you know, like I said, cable was there, so I watched MTV. BET won't happen at that point. It was just MTV. Later on, VH1 came in. But it was mainly MTV, and all they had on there was white people. So shit. Hey, I ain't gonna not look at it because white people on it. That's some good goddamn music. Because I had already been exposed to it on MTV, and now I'm riding in the car with my partner, and he playing it, and he talking about it, and do this, you know, and turn and listen to this, man. Look how this guitar playing so, and look how the drummer over here just jamming, and look how it, you know, and I'm like, okay, I mean, okay. I can understand. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. And I got to liking it, right? So I started going to the record store. Another story in itself. But I'd ride and come on back. So I started getting into the rock music. So I'd get in the car with him and I'm like, yo, man, did you hear so-and-so? Did you hear so-and-so? Did you hear so-and-so? And then he was kind of, okay, cool. I know, I ain't heard it. So I got him out. I'd make a record on cassette tape, bring it, we stick it in the car, listen to it, make him tapes and stuff like that. So we got it going on. So one summer, Van Halen, which was his favorite group. Always Van Halen. We ride that street, just blasting Van Halen. His favorite group came to the Coliseum for a goddamn show. So I'm sitting at home, you know, like I'm usually doing, sitting at home, you know, listening to some music, playing with the dog or whatever. I'm just sitting there. And he comes over. Yo, man, what you doing? I said, shit, man, what you doing? You know, I ain't doing nothing. All right, come on, let's ride. Hop in the car, we ride. He reach over, he said, yo, man. Boom. So I'm like, okay, what is that? Man, 2 tickets to Van Halen coming to the goddamn Coliseum. I said, what? You want to go? I said, you goddamn right, I want to go. Yeah, let's go. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go on, you know, we ride around, fuck along, you know, we go back to the house and then talk a little bit, and then I go on in the house. And I'm thinking, damn, I'm getting ready to go to one of these goddamn rock shows. And so we waiting in show night. I'm like, yo, man, what's up? Let's go. He pull on up in the car. We hop in the car, we head on up there. I'm excited as hell. Can't wait. We get on up there, put on up, pop, and we start walking in. Start walking. Of course, there ain't no black people, but you know, I don't give a fuck. I'm walking. The first time I had been around that many white people, it was just like a sea of white people. And so I'm just walking around, just checking out people. They looking at me, and I'm looking at them. I'm, you know, talking, and I'm like, you know, just taking it all in, just taking the experience in. We loop on around. Time to go in. Going on in. Every now and then you might walk past a black person, but of course they with white people. Just like I'm with my friend. So we going on in and we walking, and he, you know, pulled something out of his pocket. He said, yo, man, you wanna take this? I said, what is that? It's called Yellow Sunshine. I said, Yellow Sunshine. I said, Yellow Sunshine, I said, so what they gonna do? Oh man, it kinda get you up, kinda like an upper. I said, oh, okay, all right. So I go on and take it. He take it. So by the time we get to our seats and the show is going on, you know, I'm sitting there just taking it in. I mean, the music loud as a bitch. And I'm just goddamn taking all that shit in. And next thing you know, I'm high. And I can't stay still. I just can't stay still. So I said, yo, man, let's go down on the floor. Whole floor is jam-packed with white people. So I looked down there, I said, yo, man, I can't sit right here. I got to go on down to the floor. Let's go. So he said, all right, man, come on, let's go. I mean, he was a little heavier than me. He was a little thick guy. He wasn't fat, but he was a little thick, but I'm skinny. So we get on up. Going on down the steps. Get down the steps. And it was just unbelievable. Unbelievable. So you step down onto the floor. You know, you hear the noise, you see the light, so you know the front is up there. So by the time I said, well, come on, man. Let's go on and walk on through. You know, just walk on through. So we start walking on through, you know, just moving, because you know, they could smell the weed. So we'll stop, you know, and we'll stop and, you know, somebody pass him something and then he'll pass to me, or I'm over standing there and somebody pass me something and, you know, pass them around like that. So I'm really fucked up now. I said, listen here, man, I think I'm going up to the front. Huh? So yeah, let's go up to the front. Man, I don't know, man. Hey, I'm going. Let's go. So we start moving on up the front. You squeezing through this person. You moving around this person. You stand for a little while, then you ease on over here and move through this person. And you do that for about a half hour or so. Maybe you'll get on up the right. So we moving on through. Next thing I know, he said, yo, man, I gotta sit down. I said, all right. I'll meet you back at the car. If I don't see you in here, I'll meet you back at the car. All right. So I continue on up. I'm going on through. I'll continue on. You know, somebody else. I take a hit off somebody else. You know, I ain't taking no hits. I'm just taking like a little hit. And I'm going on up. Because I'm goddamn getting hot now. It's getting hot. White people, they give off heat too. And so I'm going on through and I'm moving on through and I stop here. I go, wow. Looking, you know, take some looks around, look around, because I'm tall, so I can look around over everybody's head and shit. So I'm looking around, see where I'm at, see what's going on, see, you know, just checking it out. So I start on with my move on up some more, going on over here, going on over here, you know, and I'm going on through and I'm going on through. So I stop here. Next thing I know, I'm feeling something tugging on my shirt. You know, I'm trying to go and something is tugging on my goddamn shirt. So I stop, and when I turn around, it's this young black girl. Shit, we all young. Young black girl, I guess she was about 17. I look back at her, and then I turn around, and I continue going. I'm like, no, this ain't gonna, no, you're not gonna defeat my purpose. Oh, hell no. So, if you want to come, you can hold on, and I'm gonna take you on up there with me. We go on, moving on up. We moving on up. I feel my shirt. She moving on up. I'm going on past. We moving on up. We moving on up. Next thing I know, I don't feel my shirt no more. I look back, and I don't see her. So I don't know where she went. So about then, I'm about a third of the way left to go. And so I'm looking, I'm right at the stage, the music is blasting. I mean, it's loud as fuck. Blah, 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 blah. Oh man, this shit is just, I'm high, I'm tripping, and it is just the experience of a lifetime. Yes, sir. You never forget it. If you experienced it, you never forget it. Just like I'm working my way on up, and finally, I'm at the rail. I done moved all the way through, and I'm at the fucking rail. So I'm taking in the goddamn scenery. I'm looking, you know, looking at the stage. I'm looking at the speakers. I'm looking at the drums. I'm looking at the guitars. I'm looking at the performers on stage running back and forth, blah, blah, blah. The speakers hanging, the loud noise. Everything is just tripping me out that night. Yes, sir. So I'm standing there and Van Halen on. And they, you know, playing these songs, and I'm, you know, I done heard the songs, so I know them, and it is just, oh man, I couldn't excite. So I'm sitting there, I'm standing there at the rail, and you know how the performers go back and forth across the stage. Now, David Lee Roth, lead singer for Van Halen, was coming across the stage. And he came from the right, over across the left, and our eyes met. And he stopped right there and looked at me, still singing now, and looked at me for, a split second and then continued on. And I know he was like, well, that black guy wasn't there a minute ago. Where he come from? And I just stayed there the rest of the night and enjoyed the goddamn show. After the show was over, I'm all sweaty because, hey, it was hot. I'm sweating. And so I turned around, and I can't wait to get home. We started moving on out. So the crowd is moving on out. Take a minute to get out there. You at the front of the stage. Then you gotta wait for all these people to move, right? So I'm just walking with everybody else. Everything cool. So I get on out to the car, and he out there waiting. And I tell him what happened. He was like, man, I was too fucked up, man. I couldn't do it. I said, listen to man. That was part of the experience, goddammit. Hey, wait till I tell you. We'll get there and talk about it tomorrow. And we hopped in the car, and he dropped me off, and he went on home, and I went on in the house and sat down on the bed and just thought about that experience. I said, God damn, what the fuck I just did? He was my buddy, though. Yes, sir, he was my buddy. Another crazy experience with him. We went to, he told me he had tickets to the NASCAR race. He liked racing. We got tickets to the NASCAR race. Man, we gonna ride down to Charlotte to the race. World 600. I'm like, all right, let's go. I'm all about going somewhere. So, that day come, but just the type of people you be dealing with sometimes. But hey, you gotta take the good with the bad. And so, we hop in the car. He had a Challenger then. He had a Challenger. He just changed to the small Challengers from the big muscle car Challenger. And we in the car, and we riding down to Charlotte. We get down to Charlotte. I say, yo, man, where we staying at? He ain't say nothing. I'm like, yo, man, you ain't got no hotel? What we got? What? So we end up sleeping in the fucking car in the parking lot that night. Got up, found something to eat, messed around, and went on to the race. After the race, hopped back in the car and rode on back to Richmond. That was a little short story. It was, he was just a crazy partner, Yes, sir. Always gotta be bad shit. Ain't always gotta be bad shit. Have to do.